guys? Welcome back to my channel. Sorry. So, I just got back from watching The Hunger Games, The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes. So, I've seen the Hunger Game movies and I do not remember them. I'm going to be honest, I do not remember them. From what I understand, you don't really necessarily have to watch them to see this one, because I recently found out that this movie, what happens in this movie actually takes place before what's his name, before President Snow is president. I remember him, you know, being the bad guy in the other Hunger Game movies, but I didn't realize that this actually was taking place beforehand. I was on edge. I didn't know whether I wanted to go see this or not, but I'm like, you know what, let me go see it. It does look interesting. So I don't remember any of the other Hunger Game movies. So it took me a minute to kind of get back into understanding what the Hunger Games were about. But this movie was like 2 hours. I think it was like 2.5 hours. I don't know if it was. I will say this. It wasn't a bad movie. It wasn't a bad movie. This is a non-spoiler, so I'm going to try my best to not say much, but I don't think I really have much to say without spoiling it. And I don't want to do a spoiler because I want people to go and watch for themselves and have their own opinions. But it wasn't a bad movie. It was long. I already felt like, I was just like, you know what? I think the other Hunger Game movies were long too. So the premise of this movie is basically to find out who's good and who's bad, who's a snake and who's not. And of course, if you know the Hunger Games, you know how this goes down. So this is taking place when he was 18, before he becomes president. And he obviously is a mentor to one of the people from the district. And he's basically got to keep her alive, which is Lucy Gray, who is played by Rachel Zeglar. Now, I know a lot of people. Now, I have not spoken about Rachel Zeglar. I know what's been going on. I know all the heat that she's been getting. I know all the irritation that people. I'm very well aware of what's going on. But needless to say, despite everything that's kind of going on with her, I felt like she did a good job in this movie. I felt like she wasn't over the top with her character. I feel like she played it the way that she was supposed to play. It wasn't. Tyrone was probably more irritated than I was. There's certain ways about her that were kind of irritating me, but I will say that she wasn't over the top. I think she did a good job in this, in doing what she was supposed to do as Lucy Gray. And obviously her being, looked after by the mentor, of course, she's one that's got to survive. Obviously she sings, but towards the end of this movie, you understand why it's called the Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes. You'll understand why. Now, also, Viola Davis is in this, playing as Dr. I forget the name. But anyway, she definitely does a good job at playing her role as, I guess, she oversees the Hunger Games. And the whole bit. She is Dr. Bloom or something like that. She's got like a crazy eye. She really plays the part, though. She's kind of like creepy. She's, villain-ish, strong, So of course, premise of this, you've got a whole bunch of mentors. They've got a lot of people from the district. And now they've got to basically survive. Um, you've got a lot of different people from different walks of life in this movie. Um, Along the way, things get crazy, until the last, one standing. And then it kind of goes into other stuff outside of the Hunger Games. And you start to kind of realize there's some other things going on. And the wild part is, like, towards the end of the movie, you start to see, like, why things had to happen the way that they happened. But I sat back, I was just like, damn, like, what would I do if I was in that position? I'd probably do the same thing. But still, it's kind of messed up what happened in the movie. So towards the end, I was just like, wow, like, what? And we didn't stick around for a post-credit scene. I think there is one or two, I don't know. We didn't stick around though, because to be honest, we just couldn't wait to get out of there. I wouldn't say it was a bad movie, but it was long. It wasn't. Um, I feel like I felt the same way with all the other Hunger Game movies. I don't remember them. Um, this is probably going to be another one where I'm like, I don't have to watch it again. I don't want to watch it again. It was fine for me to go see it. Um, but I think that everyone, all the characters, um, you know, did very well in the movie. I think they did a good job with the suspense and things like that. It was just long, and it was not um, like, oh my god, like super exciting. Like, if I could remember correctly, I think maybe the first Hunger Game movie um, was probably, in my opinion, the one that I liked best, because it was engaging, it was exciting, it was like, oh shoot, like this is crazy. But this one is almost just like, eh. I mean, it's all right, but it wasn't like, oh shoot, like you have got to go see this movie. It wasn't like that. It wasn't like that. It was all right. It was all right. It gave what Hunger Games is supposed to give. Um, I always give a certain percentage out of 5 toodles. 2.5 is in the middle. So I would give it. I would say it's. I would give it a 3. Nah, maybe not. I would give it between a 2.5 and a 3. It's not that I didn't like it. It wasn't a bad movie. And like I said, like, everyone did a great job. It was just super long. Um, I felt like it didn't have to be that long, but this is the Hunger Games. Um, you know, and I don't know what happened in the post-credit scene. I don't know if it was worth sticking around for, but we didn't stick around for it. So anyway, that is my review for The Hunger Games, The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes. Um, yeah, so at the end of the movie, you'll understand why it's called that. And it's just like, oh, shoot, like, So then it kind of, the way that it ends kind of makes sense. It made sense to me because I'm just like, oh, shoot, like, the transformation was just like, wow, like, that's wild. So, but as always, go watch it for yourself. Don't take my word for it. If you are a Hunger Games fan, you will probably absolutely enjoy this movie. Like I said, it wasn't a bad movie. It was just really long. And for me, I was never one of those diehard Hunger Game fans, but I always went to go see it because it was the Hunger Games. Yeah, so, and like I said, I recently understood that this actually is supposed to take place before all of the Hunger Game movies. So it's almost like we'll kind of see how things ended up being the way that, they began with the original Hunger Game movies. But leave a comments down below. Let me know if you enjoyed my review. Let me know, come back here and let me know what you guys think if you guys go out and watch the Hunger Games, the new Hunger Game movie. Yeah, and if you haven't done so, subscribe to my channel, hit like, share, and don't forget to hit the notification bell so you guys can get notified whenever I pop up on your feed. I'll see you guys later. Toodles!